I'm Sally with some advice on navigating the trails, whether you are on your bike or hiking. So the first thing you want to do is have a good look at the map, and in particular I suggest paying attention to the contour lines. So what is a contour line? It indicates elevation. That's going to give you a sense of the topography. Is there one tall mountain? Are there a few smaller hills? Is it a slope with a whole bunch of ascending and descending trails? Where you see a lot of these lines close together, that means it's steeper, and where they're farther apart, it is less steep. So have a good look at that, because that's going to help you navigate as you are riding. If you're going uphill, you're going to maybe have a better sense of what direction you're headed in, and likewise for downhill. Now, where the topography is sort of just lumpy and bumpy or flattish, it's going to be a lot harder to navigate, honestly, and there's not a lot you can do about that. So I use Trailforks for mountain biking, but the same principles apply for hiking. Any decent mapping app should have those elevation lines. You might want to have a look at what sorts of features there are as well. Is there a big lake? Use that to orient yourself. Is the lake behind you, facing out? Then orient your map that way and you'll be able to see whether you need to go left or right. The one thing I recommend not doing is using the little blue dot to try to figure out what direction you are supposed to be facing. I find personally that more often than not, the little blue dot is incorrect. And that happened to me earlier today. I did not take my own advice and I went down the wrong trail, even though the blue arrow clearly told me to go that way. I don't know if that's because there's not a lot of reception here in British Columbia on the trails or what, but I would suggest only using that as a last resort. And the best way to do that is, if you really aren't sure which way to go, maybe 20 meters in one direction, and then have a look at where you have moved on the map. And I always suggest stopping before you go too far down the wrong way. Tracking yourself is going to give you another really helpful point of reference, because you'll be able to see where you came from, which means you can orient yourself in terms of where you need to go next, and you won't make the mistake of accidentally doubling back. Another tip is to always orient the map so that it is facing in the same direction you are facing, so that if you need to turn right, it's going to look right when you're looking down on your map. And if you're going left, it's going to be a left on your map as well. I would never suggest using Google Maps or any other kind of mapping app that is made for driving, because that is unlikely to have the elevation lines and the natural features that you're going to be relying on if you are on foot or on your bike in the wilderness. And they'll often not have the trails that you are looking for, or they will have the wrong trails. People have to get rescued here in BC occasionally because they are using Google Maps to go hiking instead of using a mapping app that is specifically meant for hiking or mountain biking. The last tip is that practice makes perfect. The longer I do it, the better I get at it. And it's really great to be able to go to a brand new trail network, either by myself or lead the way with my friends, and feel confident that I can figure out where I need to go. So that's it. Hope that was helpful. See you on the trails. If you want to see more mountain bike, hiking, and travel content, please subscribe to my channel.